Welcome, family, friends, neighbors, and anyone else. Let's get comfy so I can tell you a story. I am using my, it's cute. I am using my lovely floor because today I woke up extremely dizzy and extremely achy in the back and the legs. So we are working with what we got also. I was going to use Mila's bed, but she is using it. And then, as you see, dogs on the bed behind me. So you work with what you got sometimes. This is gonna kind of be an author's answers thing, but kind of not. I was thinking about discussing criticisms and dealing with people basically talking behind your back and spreading rumors and how to deal with comments and stuff like that. Because when I was discussing what was that last video? Ugh, my head hurts so much that I can't think. It was the drive-in motivation video that just got put out, right? I think that was the last one. I often will film videos and then put one out and then realize, ooh, I filmed another one I got to put out either before or after, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just put it after because I'm just a lovely mess lately. So just trying to get stuff done for work and for daily life is a lot because my anxiety is at pretty much high often, and then that triggers for me a lot of my mental health issues. I don't want to go into that too much just right now. Also, because the way I feel today, I'll probably start crying a lot. And we don't need to bring on too many tears a lot right now. But I know that can be such a hard part of the process for a lot of writers and a lot of people in general, because some of these videos that I have put up, I don't want them strictly to be for writers, because that's not how I work. I have always had a fascination with psychology. I have always wanted to get a degree in psychology, and I had been studying for a degree. I think it was 10 years ago, about there, because these guys are, what are you, like 10? And I think I just started before they were born, so maybe even 11 years. Around actually the time even that would make it when I started to self-publish. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's not nervousness, that's just me. Sometimes the words don't want to come out my mouth. But it was a lot of the stuff that I dealt with growing up that maybe when I'm more comfortable, I'll even start posting about it on here, because that'll require a little more strength. I kind of allude to it and go into it, but not too much. And I always used to want to learn why people chose to do what they would do to others. Why would they hurt other people? What motivated abuse? What motivated someone to cause pain to other people? So I just got a huge, oh, my back is killing me. So if I adjust, I apologize. I just kept getting into wanting to understand, I guess, as the person on the other side of it. I wanted to, as much as I've always taken on a lot of responsibility and the blame, like most in my situation do, and I've battled that a lot. I think I had this part of me that was, I knew it wasn't my fault, a deeper sense. And so learning psychology and learning more about the human mind and motivation behind things. It helped me not get too far down in the bad area. And it was something for me to focus on and learn, and it ended up going into a lot of the writing I do, like even on my site. I will, on the KimberlySueIverson.com site, I will go into motivations of the characters, not as a writer talking about it to a reader like, this is why my character chose to wear a blue shirt, and this is why my character did X and X to such and such. It's more kind of helping learn what they're doing, why they're doing it, using that as motivation and inspiration for my own life, for other people, and tying it into maybe experiences I've had or experiences other people are dealing with. And it's more of a psychology thing, because I think that's also part of why my psychology degree, because of them, and because that was around the time that my mom had taken a fall in the bathtub, and we basically were back and forth to the hospital, nurses coming and going to the house, and it was just not conducive at that point to try to get a degree in psychology at the same time. So I let it go, and it was just something I did enjoy, but I had to life and put it aside. Had this conversation with my editor, with Jeannie, for, I don't know if it was last year or a few years ago, but I had told her that for me, what helps me to help other people is just to offer advice, to talk to them, because a lot of the time most people just need somebody to talk to. They just need an ear. They don't need fixing. They don't need all kinds of different things shoved at them to do when they're barely functioning. They just need someone to listen to them and talk to them. So it's often what or like even this, they just need someone to watch, someone to listen to, someone to give them ideas, or just focus on, so they don't have to focus on themselves, basically. And I think that's what I started to focus on more with even my writing, was to help people, to help them learn about themselves, but through the characters, because I do that. I learn a lot through my characters. And so it's something that I focused on for more of the route that I wanted to take. Instead of sitting in an office, I was like, just writing a blog talking about my characters can help them quite a bit, can help me quite a bit. And so that's what also this channel I want to focus on. It's not just going to be writers, it's going to be anybody who can honestly gain help, inspiration, even just someone to watch for a minute. Even though for me that's kind of hard. Being on camera, I mean, not watching people. But it's also what I use YouTube sometimes for, is just to watch people, to slow down my own thoughts, to focus, to gain inspiration. And it's something that I was thinking about with the motivation and drive video. I was talking a little bit about dealing with comments, dealing with people who have it all figured out and have all the answers for you and will purposely critique and criticize based off of that idea of, I know what's best. I know how to fix everything for you. You just have to do what I say. It's what I decide. And that can be really hard to deal with as a writer, especially with, reviews. And one of the things that I think I'm pretty rare for, but maybe not as rare, just because there are probably plenty out there. You might be someone watching it right now who is similar. And if so, feel free to leave it in the comments. Then other people see I'm not the only one who does it. But I try not to go hunting reviews. A lot of people will say purposely to do it because you learn from critiques, because you learn from negative feedback. But I would argue that if you're running after reviews and searching all over the internet for your work, to find reviews, to find comments, then you're spending more time caring what other people think about your work than trying to improve your work, getting better at your work, recognizing your own faults, and actually putting out better work and more work, because practice is what helps us improve a lot of stuff. Do we benefit from critiques? Yes. Do we benefit from even negative feedback? Yes. That's not to say that, avoid any negative feedback and avoid any criticisms or anything like that. Because yes, we do benefit when it's directed to us. And again, I could say there are exceptions and yada yada yada. We all know that. It's common sense. There are exceptions. There's all of it. But I know when you're first starting out, because I had been there too, if you get those bad reviews, or you get people going around saying how bad your work is and how terrible an author you are, and they use your work as examples of what not to do, even if you have a massive amount of people like, I love this work, I love what you did, I love this, I love this, I love this, that one or two people, 1%, 10% even, of people who critique it and say it's wrong and they don't like, they are the ones that will get in there. And I mean, I have had that. I had followed advice to set up my name as an alert so that if somebody online mentioned my work, I would find that out. Let me tell you how unfruitful that was. The only thing that ever usually ended up doing for me was completely make me want to give up working. It got to the point that was about when I had met my editor, I had gotten to the point I was like, I should not be doing this. I shouldn't do this. This is horrible. This is horrible work. Even though I had people who loved my work, even though I had people telling me that they wanted more. I had only, I think at that time, had just a couple books out, like 2 or 3. But I was just about done. Maybe even 5. I'll just say 2 to 5 books. I don't know. But having somebody tear apart your work and you seeing it, even if they're not doing it in front of you, but you, like I was following all that advice to make more and to get more sales and do this and do that, and coming across those hateful critiques was, yeah. I had even come across some where think it was for the original Dragon's Dawn book, which, let me tell you, there's a reason why that one was unpublished and that it's getting worked on. Not good. The story, yes, the story is good. Not so much the grammar, not so much the repeat words that I originally could not see in my work. I guess the characters and the plot I've never really had an issue with, because I've always helped myself kind of escape life by just thinking up stories, and I used to just play out stuff in my mind, and I think that probably benefited me. But having someone tear apart work when the critiques that they had done weren't actually something like, example, one of the covers that I had used for, I think it was the original Dark Illusions, the beginning. I think it was that one of those covers. That's had many covers, let me tell you. That was used as an example of a cover not to do, when it was actually a cover that was more advanced than the first cover I'd ever had on it, because the first cover I ever had on it was super simple, just a square on a black background with one man's screaming face, another one, and then a shadow of a female in the center. I mean, it was as simple and basic as you could get, and that was the book that had earned thousands of sales as soon as I started publishing it. Within, I'm not sure how long it was up, but it was thousands of sales or downloads, and then the sales too were pretty high. I can't remember what all the statistics were. I just remember thousands. So when that next cover, I was thinking, well, this one's too simplistic. The advice is always to make them super fancy and look, you see the covers nowadays. It was basically invest the money and make a really good cover. So I had used an image from something I had found. I could use it for commercial use and stuff like that. Always important to check. And don't use images you're not allowed to use. Don't use copyrights. But I had used that image as I had found it. I didn't alter it that much. That was the image that got critiqued as something not to do. But the person put it on me. And what the critiques were on the original image. So they were not stuff that I directly had done. I just didn't alter it. Not saying that I didn't make a decent cover. I thought it looked fine. Everybody that had seen it, they'd enjoyed it. So it was just this one tiny little site. It wasn't even a big site. I'm not going to critique them and criticize them at all. So I'm not going to go there. I'm just saying it was just this one site. It wasn't even a big site, but that was enough. I was in that early stage of being a writer that it was enough that it was a blow to my ego as a writer, as a person, as basically made me feel like I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And a truth to that, because I was still new and learning. But that, among the critiques I was getting, the reviews that were coming to me personally, but then that I was also chasing after online to read, they overrode all the positive, because I had people reading it. I had men, I had women, it didn't matter who they were. I had different age groups reading the work and telling me that they enjoyed it, but it didn't matter, because all that mattered in my mind was the negative. Kona? Oh my goodness. You always interrupt. Look at this. So, the negative feedback... Ugh, Kona goobers. The negative feedback was what overrode all the positive. And anybody who's been online or around any kind of life can tell you that it can be really crushing to deal with, even just, excuse me, always when I start recording. One bad comment can eat away at you more than a lot of positive. It had slowly migrated to the point that I had truly thought of giving up, because I was going, I am not a good writer. I suck. I should not be doing this. What am I doing? Hold on, gotta adjust. Oh, Kona, you put weight on me. Okay. I have a bad boy in me lap because he's a bad boy. I think a lot of people, when they are new especially, are most susceptible to that. That's why I was saying in, was it that last one or the one before, that resilience, I think, is far more important than having a thick skin. Because even now, if I chased down reviews, they would hurt if I read a lot of nasty, snarky comments, because that stuff hurts my feelings. And I had even back then, I think I was going to say this too, but I had even back then come across a comment on the Dragon's Dawn work. Yeah, I was going to say it and I cut myself off. That had said, I don't know if they were being sarcastic, snarky, it was a negative or a positive, even though it could be read as positive. But I had read somebody saying the author was a god who wrote that. And that's even the stuff that I don't like hunting down, because if that was a positive comment, that was also when I went under a pen name. And that's something I'm going to address soon too. Whether that's a positive comment, that too can get inside of here and screw with you. It certainly screwed with me, because I'm sure you understand that very well, that if you don't have a good handle on, what would it be? Your your ego, your mind, your sense of self, even something like that, if it was positive, I don't know. I think it was supposed to be positive, but that can get inside your mind and affect your writing. I remember telling people that I also don't like to read positive comment on my work, because that can get in the mind just as much as the negative stuff and alter the way I write. That's also why I have a careful line that I walk with taking in advice and changing the work, or heeding something someone says and altering my work based on it. Because at the end of the day, yes, comments can help us improve, feedback, but you also have to have a foundation inside of where you are at as a writer, as a person even, I think, so that you know where to draw a line to how far you'll change the work based on something. Like with my editor and I, she knows we have reached, I think, a pretty good agreement and a trust over the past 10 years, I think it is, of working together, that she can be really hard on me, and that's okay, because I want to improve. But at the same time, I know when to push back on something that she says to me. Like it might need a change, and I will feel something inside that's telling me, no, I'm not gonna, I'm not sure if intense as this is the hill I'll die on for it. It's just a sense inside that is like, nope, because if I adjust that, it's to the point where I will adjust me and my work as an author, and it will go too far into changing who I am and the voice that I have created as an author. And there does always have to have that balance inside. I think you only really get better with time. A lot of these quick get rich quick people love to tell people, do this, do this, do this. You'll get your book, you'll sell your book, and you will reach millions. I was an author who was making a lot of money in the beginning. That's no get rich quick scheme. It was just, it happened to be a fortunate time for me. So having sales suddenly drop off when I went under my real name, and then all the issues with that, which I will probably go into with the pen name stuff. But I mean, if you've read my blog, you've probably seen me discuss all the issues with that. I could literally show you in the lifetime graph of sales where my name went to the Kim Iverson, and then just like, okay, well, that was a bad choice on my part. Let me gotta work to fix that now. Which is why the Kimberly Sue Iverson got put on the books to hopefully boost it up. But then the next name is also coming to hopefully go back up, because it's been proven with everybody beating my head with a baseball bat. It's not the work. It's not the work. Even though up here says it's the work. I suck. I suck as a writer. I suck as this. I suck as that. That's mental health stuff. It gets really dark in there most days these days. I might be why the dizziness too, because I get weird reactions to a lot of the bad days I have, and dizziness can be one of those from like exhaustion and stuff of overworking. But as a writer, it's important to kind of build up that foundation of how far you will go to change your work when you're listening to somebody. Even professionals will slowly get to that point too. I say professionals, but I mean like, traditional. Because I think it's important to learn your voice, learn the rules, just like everybody says, to determine which to break, which fit you as an author, a writer, and even a person, because my writing and brand is essentially who I am online as much as in my work. If you read any of my blogs, it's going to be the same as when you read one of my books, except in my books, of course, I spent hours editing, clarifying, fixing, editing. So the words and the story is much more clear, and off the top of my head, I tend to just veer off into things I want to remember to mention, and I could easily cut these videos to be perfectly in sync, just like I could be perfect background and perfect this, but are any of us, if you're just starting out as a writer, it's going to make you feel defeated if everything is absolute perfection, and it's not absolute perfection. You go through a period where you may be one of those authors even who you suddenly hit that store shelf and you have millions of copies sold. And then 5 years down the road, you're lucky to get one sale. Or you could be the person who, when you start, you're lucky to get one sale. 5 years down the road, millions of copies are sold, and people will act like you are just the newest, greatest everything, and you've been plugging away for even maybe more than 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and suddenly you're like, I've been here this whole time, where you been? That's why a lot of those overnight successes you find out have been around for 10 years, 20 years, plugging away. So it's important to listen to feedback and critiques, especially if they come to you and they value you enough that they do contact you personally. But it's also important to find that balance of how far you'll change your work because of something someone said, whether positive or negative. It makes you a stronger writer to establish that voice and brand that you create. Brands can change. Even your voice can change over the years. I mean, you're not the same as a teenager as an adult. It can be really hard to deal with critiques. Just remember too, though, a reader wants you. They don't want, if they're coming to search John Doe, they're not looking for Stephen King. They might like Stephen King, but they're searching somebody that they want, which is you. When they search out your specific work, and when they get to know you as a writer, they want you, your voice, your unique story, your unique way of telling things the way you tell them. They don't want somebody else. So when you go hunting for reviews and critiques to learn from, what you're also doing is potentially sacrificing your voice to change based on a group of people that may not be your people. People will give me feedback on these videos, this channel, who don't even watch my channel, who don't even watch the videos, who don't care about my work. They don't follow my work. They don't follow me. They don't focus on me. They just say, this is how you do videos. This is how you do blank. You have to do this because this. I was telling the Lunanate the other night, she gets a lot of comments on the fact that she talks in her videos. And that she talks a lot. Because her videos are ASMR and distance Reiki. I was telling her, I love when you talk in your videos because a lot of what you say helps me. A lot of what you talk about helps me. I gain inspiration from it. There's so much wisdom to get from her. Do you know how many videos of hers I watch? Pretty much every single video of hers on a repeat. I've seen at least every one of the videos that I've watched since following her at least 2 times probably, if not more, because some of them I favor more. I don't watch them for ASMR. I watch them to listen to her, to get the distance Reiki, because I do think that that's, if you're open to it, it does actually work well. Because I've mentioned she helps me get my sleep back on track if I'm not falling asleep well at night. Those are people probably who critique her videos and say she talks too much, who aren't actually interested in what she does. They're not interested in her. They just want the ASMR and to have a silent video. And that's the point. That's essentially not her tribe. But it's people who will critique her work, only see it maybe one time and critique it. And as much value as negative feedback and criticisms can hold, at the same time, people who follow you in your group, they want you. I have battled a lifetime of being told I was wrong for being me. I was wrong for who I was, how I thought, how I acted, how I was, or everything about me. because I either didn't like partying, I didn't like going to the club. I didn't go to the club. I tried it 2 times, and that was enough for me to go. Not my thing. People used to gripe at me for it, saying I didn't want to do anything, and all I would think was, actually, I do. You just don't want to do what I want to do, which is go hang out in the mountains, go down to the beach where there are no people, and just hang out all day, to go driving in the country, to go have a picnic out in the woods, anything like that. They wanted to go to the movies, to go shopping. So you'll get a lot of criticisms from people who just don't understand you, don't want to understand you, don't follow you. I definitely did not ever have a crowd to follow because I am not into drinking. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't do anything of that. So I am someone who is going to always be set apart from the crowd. So when I write and the brand that I put into the work, my voice, it's not gonna be for everyone, because no matter how we try to adjust and fix ourselves to fit, we're not going to be for everyone. But the people who we do touch and who want our work, those people want our work. So when we listen too much to the feedback, whether it's positive or negative, both affect me and can affect me if I'm not careful. I love hearing positive feedback, though. For me, now it benefits me because it overrides all the stuff up there. It can be really hard to deal with people going behind your back, spreading lies, spreading rumors, using your work as examples of what not to do, of blasting you as this kind of person or that kind of person, especially if you're not that kind of person. And it goes back to what I was saying about resilience. You can't stop those people from talking. You can't be anybody but who you are. If somebody is lying about you, it's going to show. If somebody is criticizing you and trying to make you into a bad person, over time, the truth, as they say, will always come out and show. So you can't change other people's opinions about you. You can't change that story. If it gets to a certain point, you could always, make a statement saying, look, this is such and such, this is happening. It's why I'm pretty open and transparent, because number one, I wouldn't remember the lies I tell. And I'd eventually blast them out. And you'd eventually catch me in it. But it's just one of those things that I've dealt with it my entire life. Rumors and lies and stories being told behind my back. And losing friends because of it. Because they believed the storyteller, not me. So it's not easy to deal with ever at any part in our life. But we can't change those people. But we can, through it, see who truly loves and cares for us. And that, for me now, is probably even more important. Oh, I'm gonna start crying thinking about it. Not sad, happy. But we get to see not just who's really a friend to us, but also who really loves our work. I will not cry. Because the people who really love your work, they will not be affected to that point by those comments or by the reviews. They will be able to see through them. And those are your people. I don't really have solutions for like getting through that pain other than just you keep going. We all pretty well just take it one day at a time and 1 minute at a time sometimes. But that's all you can do sometimes. And taking a breath so I don't cry, because I don't want to cry on a video. You just power through it, I guess, is a good word to do it. You remember that people are going to say what they want to say. People are going to do what they want to do. You can't control them. You can control how you react to it. And for me, that's more important. So do you want to make a name for yourself as someone that's going online and blasting bad commenters? I can't remember who they were, but there were some authors who they kind of started earning a name for themselves online because they were attacking reviewers who didn't like their work. And if you don't like my work, that's okay. I'm not going to attack you for it. That is just, I don't want to attack people. I think most people have been attacked enough. I've been attacked enough. And I'm not going to attack you if you don't like my work. It's just not for you. If you don't like these videos, they're just not for you. If you don't even like me as a person, we can't change who likes us and who doesn't, and who trusts our word and will be good to us or not. People will love you or they will not. You can't chase love. You can't chase acceptance. You can just be who you are, and the right people will love you for it. Whether they're a reader, whether they are a friend, whether they are a partner, it doesn't matter. Or family, I guess. I forgot to say family too. But the best way to handle being criticized and critiqued online is you just keep going. That's it. Eventually, like with my work, eventually I got better. I had Jeannie to help me, and I just kept working. I learned where I was having issues. I learned where I needed to fix certain work. I started to create something like a list of words to search for that I had an issue with using too much. I actually was going to make that as a free giveaway. I just haven't got around to it to help other people. I do specific word search, and it helps me clarify sentences and passages where the stuff is. It zones my brain in, because that for me can be an issue, is zoning in on the specific issue. And so it just kind of like a little target button. This one, this area needs work. Buggle is snoring. He's so cute. I did get better over time. I still have new issues that crop up that I gotta work on and fix. I do realize this wasn't a video of like, this is how you fix this problem. Some of these videos are just gonna be chit chat videos. I do have a boy on my lap because it's just, oh my god. Bubba can be a bad boy. I think that's the best advice for dealing with people talking behind your back, criticizing you, and all that stuff that I've learned over time, is just, all you can really do is just keep going. Try to ignore it. Focus on you. Eliminate distractions. Eliminate places and people or distance yourself from people who don't make you feel good. If you find that you're constantly reading reviews on your work, that's a huge thing I advise not doing, because it doesn't matter for me if it's positive or negative. As I've said, it can be detrimental. With the positive, if people are wondering why, it can feed you into like, ooh, I'm so good, I don't need to do anything else, and I am the best at this, and I'm gonna go tell everybody how to do this. This is the new way. This is the only way to do it now, and I'm going to tell everybody how to do it. I hate that one way, the only way stuff. It's not. I can give you ideas, but my way isn't gonna help you necessarily. I could be completely different or wrong for you. You just take it one day at a time, even 1 minute at a time sometimes, to slowly try to figure out where the issues are. Try to take away stuff. Like if you're searching on reviews all the time, or you find yourself doing that comparison thing, or struggling with imposter syndrome. So many people deal with that. Even celebrities deal with that. They're going to find out that I suck. Well, I feel that way constantly about everything. Especially relationships, like friendships and romantic relationships and stuff. I'm like, any day they're going to find this one thing out, and it's going to be the one thing that they're done with. I'm going to say one wrong thing and they're going to be gone. I'm going to do something and that's going to be it. They're just going to be like, I'm not even going to talk to you. Bye-bye. They're not going to fight for me. They're not going to stick around, whatever else. So if it's something like, especially for social media, can cause that imposter syndrome, try to back away from it. You don't have to stay off of it completely. I would be more than content just staying off social media completely, staying off of the internet as much as possible, except for uploading my work. You pull back from where you can that's causing you issues. You pull back from the places that are making you feel less than. You pull away from the people who you find yourself constantly doubting yourself around, constantly feeling like you are little, like you are not good enough. Surround yourself with only the people who make you feel really good, who make you feel happy deep down inside. Even if it's for now just a pet, even if for now it's just a few friends online you chat with, even if it's just your partner. That's the thing that I focus on most right now, because I can't deal with too much else. What I focus on most right now is just Jeannie and Will and all my dogs, because when I talk to them, I feel happy. A deep happiness. It's not that super excited, oh my god, this is awesome. Well, I mean, it could be that too sometimes, but it's that deep, deep centeredness that can boost the mood and just make you feel content and a deeper happiness that can help you get past all that kind of stuff. That's what those two especially make me feel, and that's where my focus lies, to help me get through a lot of the hard days, which right now is more than the good, easy days. You're never going to convince people that you are not this person that other person says, or that you are better than what this person says. If it's a critique on your work, if it's a rumor about you, if it's a story going around, it's either someone will believe it or someone will not. Someone will come to you to talk to you about it and address it with you, or they will not. People will prove what they think of you through their actions, not their words. Their words are important, but their actions also have to get factored in. All you can really change and focus on is you. Focus on what matters to you. And it cannot be the opinions and the voices of other people who are only wanting to see you stay small. And it doesn't even mean that you will be some big celebrity and famous and big extravagant thing. I think a lot of people think when some say remaining small, they might mean, like a little nobody. And it means you feel compressed. You feel like you can't be you. Like you have to walk on eggshells. Like you can't have an actual conversation. And for me, I value conversation and time with people more than anything else. All you have to do to be somebody important to me is talk to me. Include me in your life. Tell me stories of your life. Show me pictures of your life. Discuss your life with me. I don't need some big, fancy, extravagant thing. I just need the person and time with them. And that for me is everything. I wish I had better ideas for you on how to handle it. I could always do the lists. This is how you do it with list A, B, and 5. Yes, I'm aware my steps just went out of order. The point is those lists are silly. They always have the same information. That's the point. It's not a list. It's just, you just don't worry about lists. Don't worry about the quick, I can't even, get rich quick schemes. I can't even say the words. Worry more about improving you, improving your work. Give them something to talk about then. Because while they're sitting there talking about you, you're trying to improve your life. You are trying to be better at your work. So they're still sitting there helping you market then by talking all about you to everybody who will listen while you're doing your own thing and focused on yourself and people who matter to you, the people you love, your family, your pets, your life. That's the important stuff. Focus on what you can, which is maintaining your own mental health space and happiness, and focus there. Focus on the people who love you and enjoy you, and just enjoy your own space that you are creating around you. I hope this has in some way helped you. I hope that my dizziness is gonna subside soon because I feel it creeping up because my head's hurting again. I hope you have the ability to help someone smile today, or someone helps you smile today. I have a little boy on my lap passed out. Makes me smile. If you liked this video, like it, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Every interaction allows YouTube to say, hey, this person deserves to be seen. And I will catch you later in the next video.